Hello, First Baptist family. I'm with Pastor Travis today, and we are talking about discovery classes that start on September 19th. And we have discovery classes for junior high and senior high youth, as well as for adults. And you may be wondering, well, what about the kids? And at this time, we do not have discovery classes for kids, and there's a couple reasons why. Number one, in our most recent edition of having discovery classes for kids, we just didn't have many kids who participated, and so it wasn't the best use of our resources to do that. And also, we have a challenge of getting volunteers right now to be a part of discovery classes for kids. And so I hope that that's something that changes in the future. But for right now, we have discovery classes for junior high, senior high, and for adults. And so, if that's something in the future that you get excited and passionate about discovery for kids, then let us know because we'd
Oh
love
yeah.
to plug you in. We'd love for your kids to participate, and we would love for you to participate as well in terms of teaching some of those classes. Now, that being said, you might think, well, First Baptist isn't really discipling kids, and you know better than that. You know that we're pouring lots and lots of resources into FBC Kids on Sunday mornings and also in our massive Awana program that takes place on Wednesday nights. And so that's really where we're spending most of our attention, energy, resources in terms of the discipling of kids. But Travis, this is your first go around with what we call discovery. Some churches call Sunday school. Tell us about time, place. When are these classes happening?
So the classes are going to be happening from 9 o'clock to 9:50 on Sunday mornings. I believe most classrooms are in the basement.
Yep.
So there's going to be 5 classes happening, 5 teachers. Um, we've got Steve Plater, who is going to be teaching a class called "Challenging What You Believe About God." Simple idea: who is God to you? And helping to answer that question, who is God to you? With so many false impressions around the world, around media, uh, it's a healthy question to ask. Who is God to us? Who is He really? And to look into the Bible and what the Bible really says probably will change people's opinions of who God really is. We may find out that He's more loving than what we expected, or we may find out that maybe God has a little more wrath than what we expected, but both of those can be really healthy things. So that'll be a great thing to be looking into in that class. So who is God to you? Another class, this one you're teaching, Discover First Baptist. So do you want to say something about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Christy and I look forward to this every time we get a chance to facilitate Discover First Baptist. And it really is a class designed to help those who are newer to First Baptist Church or those who have been here for a while and just haven't yet taken that step of taking the class or going a little bit deeper into the life of the church family to learn about the past, the present, and the future of First Baptist Church. And so we'll talk about things like the church's mission and vision, and we'll talk about things like what does it mean to be a Baptist? We'll talk about does membership matter and why and how do you become a member at First Baptist? And then how is First Baptist structured? So, kind of the behind the scenes nuts and bolts about who we are as a church and why we think that that's very important and that it matters. The class is a prerequisite for becoming a member here at First
Mm-hmm.
Baptist Church, but if you're not at that point of wanting to commit to membership, you can certainly take the class and just learn and just kind of dip your toe in the water a little bit and find out what First Baptist is all about. So we would love to have you be part of Discover First Baptist, whether you're brand new or you've been here for a while.
Sounds great. Sounds good. Another class that we've got going on is actually taught by your dad, Stan, and it's answers to tough Bible questions. And I think if you've read the Bible a lot, you realize there's a lot of tough questions out there. And if you haven't read the Bible a lot, you've probably heard that there's tough
That's right.
questions or
Yep.
have tough questions yourself. So this might be a really good class for you. And some of the questions that are going to be covered are the genealogy of Jesus and why there's two different genealogies in the Bible. Why does that matter? Why are there different ones presented in different gospels? The question of does God change His mind? I think that's one that a lot of people wrestle about is does God change His mind? And if God's will is determined, then why pray or why do missions or why do all these different things? So does God change His mind? Does the Bible instruct believers to sell or give everything away. When you look at Acts chapter 2, there's this idea of the community pooling everything in one place. And is that giving everything away? And is that what we're instructed to do? What are counterfeit miracles? Did Jesus have like an error in regarding the timing of his return and the end of time's signs? We've just been going through Revelation, and some of the things that we're seeing would indicate that the end of the world is here, or should have come a long time ago. So did Jesus mess up when he predicted the future that way? And then two bad girls of the Bible, Jezebel and Rahab, and what is the difference? Because in some ways there's some real similarities, but there's also some real differences. So those are just some of the questions that will be covered, and that's a great space to be able to talk a little bit about some of those tough questions and ask more follow-up questions with some of those. If you find yourself when you're reading the Bible saying, I don't know that I agree with this, or that maybe you just don't understand why God works the way that he does, that might be a really good space for you. And then Ron Belville will be teaching a class through the epistles of John, 1 John, 2 John, and 3 John, if you're not familiar with those. And it can be characterized by a really simple phrase, and that's little children love one another. Right? Or as Ron has said in the world's vernacular, what the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. And I think that's really simple to see when you look around us at the world. At times, there definitely does not seem to be enough love. So he's going to be taking the time to go through those 3 books just a little bit at a time. And it's simple. It's meant to ask the question that we should all be asking ourselves after salvation, which is, how then should we live?
Good.
So if that's a question you've asked yourself, what should I do next? That might be a really good class to check out. Or if you've thought, I could be a more loving person, this might be a good class for you to check out. Or if you're just trying to learn more about the Bible, maybe you've thought to yourself, I need to have more knowledge. This class is going to be a at least relatively deep look at 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John, so it would be a good chance to do some more of that. And the last class is one that I'm teaching called Transforming Prayer. It's a study by Daniel Henderson. It's going to be a video study, and the video is a pretty short part at the beginning of each session. And the intention of the class is really to get us praying. I know when I grew up, and even at the beginning of my ministry, I just didn't feel comfortable praying out loud, praying in public. Didn't feel like I knew what to say or how to say it or when to say it. And this class or this study was a real game changer for me in changing the way I pray in public, or at least the comfort level I had with that, and changing the way that I prayed in my own private prayer time with reading through scripture and whatnot. So I know I've been changed by this class. Hannah was changed by this class, and I think it could be a really great moment for our church to have a chance to look at another way of praying and ways to get really comfortable with that and how we can connect with God differently every week.
And then finally, the junior high and senior high youth will be going through the same curriculum, but they'll be in different classes. And that is the Gospel Project, and it is the chronological approach to the Gospel Project. And so really what they'll be doing is they'll be tracing the key events in the Bible from beginning to end and giving a really healthy overview of the Bible. And so I think that is very fruitful, important material, especially for young people, to get that bird's eye view of what is going on in the Bible chronologically. And so, Travis, tell us how people can sign up for these classes, because it is important for us to have an idea who's coming, how many are coming, how do we sign up?
If you were here last week, you may have already seen that on this form we've got some sign-up spaces that you could just write on this and then put it in the offering boxes. Or I think maybe there's some baskets that you can put them in, but it's a really great way to let us know how many to expect. We got to know what classes to put people in or what classrooms to use. I know my class requires some material, so I need to know how much to order, and so it just gives us the ability to plan and to know how many to expect. You can also sign up online. Those signups should be up soon, and you'll be able to sign up through, believe it's events on the Church Center app. So make sure you can sign up one of those two ways, or try to let one of us know on Sunday morning if you plan to attend our classes.
And as people sign up, this is an open-ended forever commitment, right? This is going to go on and on and on and on, or not.
Yeah, no, once you sign up, you're locked in for the rest of your life. No, no. These classes are 6 weeks at a time, and then there will be another set that starts shortly after that. And you can, try to stick with a class for those 6 weeks, but you'll be free to, change and go to different classes after those 6 weeks are over. And then if you miss a week, that's fine. If you're going to be going on vacation and you're like, oh, we're not going to sign up because we're going to miss 2 weeks. No, please, join in. It's okay if you miss a week or two. We know life happens, and we want to have as much opportunity for people to grow in Christ and grow in their relationship with God as possible.
Excellent. So we invite you and look forward to being able to share together in some really important learning this fall. And so, discovery classes for the fall of 2021.